Good evening. I've called this meeting to order. Will you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Start with the roll call.
President Albertson.
Here.
Councilmember Vaughn. Councilmember Perez.
Here.
Councilmember Prince.
Here.
Member McCurban.
Here. Thank you.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
Here.
And Councilmember Rivera.
Here.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all present.
All right. Thank you. We're going to start off tonight with a proclamation. It's Parks and Recreation Month.
All right. Proclamation, whereas the City of Renton's Parks and Recreation Department, established in 1941, has served for over 80 years as a reflection of the community's values and priorities, providing welcoming spaces, responsive programs, and essential services rooted in what matters most to our residents. And whereas every park we acquire, trail we build, facility we maintain, and program we offer is shaped by the voices of our community. We operate with the understanding that we are stewards of public spaces and that our work is possible only through the trust and investment of Renton's residents. And whereas this trust is earned every day through transparent planning, meaningful public engagement, and the responsible use of tax dollars to provide high-quality services that enhance the daily lives of over 2.6 million visitors each year. And whereas the 2025 National Recreation and Park Association, NRPA theme, Build Together, Play Together, embodies how Renton builds strong communities, not just through infrastructure, but through relationships, equitable access, and shared experiences. And whereas Renton's park system includes more than 445 acres of public land, 10 miles of developed trails, and over 117,000 trees in our streets, parks, and natural areas, as well as beloved community assets such as a senior activity center, an aquatic center, a regional park, golf course, boat launch, skateboard park, history museum, and multiple community centers, all of which serve the community year-round. And whereas the dedicated Parks and Recreation staff continue to build together with our community, listening first, responding with care, and delivering services that honor the community's trust and expectations for excellence. And now, therefore, I, Armando Pavoni, Mayor of the City of Renton, do hereby proclaim the month of July 2025 as Parks and Recreation Month in the City of Renton, and I encourage all residents to join me in the special observance. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Renton to be affixed the 7th day of July 2025, signed Mayor Armando Pavoni.
Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Council President.
move to adopt the proclamation as read.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President Albertson, second by Councilmember Perez, that the proclamation be adopted as read. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. And tonight, to accept the proclamation, we have Parks and Recreation Administrator Mary Jane Van Cleef, along with what looks to be our entire Parks Commission board.
I don't travel light, sir.
Yes.
My backup. Good evening, council, and thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to read first and then improv a little, but I just want to say good evening and thank you for this proclamation and for your continued support of our Parks and Recreation. I'm honored to accept it on behalf of our team, whose work is not only professional, but it's personal. Many of our staff, like some of you, council, were born and raised right here in Renton. They played in these parks, they grew up in these programs, and today they're the ones maintaining them. Well, this is why I normally don't read. Now they're raising their own children who also participate in our programs. And we call them our rec babies. And in some cases, their parents and even our in-laws are in these programs. And for those who are unique and special, they become park board members and even a city manager. That deep generational connection is what makes our department truly unique. Our team works hard, often behind the scenes, to keep things running, to support our partners, and to strengthen our community. And while we honor our 80-year-old history, we're not standing still. We're actively modernizing our operations and reimagining our public spaces currently through our PROS plan, guided by the voices of our residents, which our staff are also, so that what we continue reflects our community's needs for today and for future generations. To our staff and to my large and beautiful team behind me and our board members, we thank you for leading with heart and never losing sight of who we are and who we serve. To the council and Mr. Mayor, thank you for your trust in us as stewards of our public spaces and our taxpayer dollars. And to our community, we humbly serve you and are honored to do so. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you.
Can I please have my park board join, our senior advisory members, and anyone from Human Services? But
Yep.
again, these faces, they came by choice. They believe in what we do. This is not by guilt, some by guilt, mostly by choice. But we have a hard job, but we love to do it. We know there's more to do, and we just thoroughly appreciate the support we receive from this city, and we continue to love doing it. So if my board members can.
Yeah, before we take a picture, we should point out that we're joined by Chair Al Dykeman,
Yes.
Cynthia Burns, Tim Searing, Larry Ryman, Marlene Winters, and Juanita Stallworth. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Appreciate it.
Your advisory members, come on up if you're here too, please. We'd love for you to join. Come on, get pretty, let's go. Before we look like melted ice cream, it's gonna happen real fast.
Let's do this quick. Good to see you. Oh, I see you. Hi, good to see you.
You could give it to them, sir.
White screen or? Thank you all for joining us tonight. Now we're moved on to the administrative reports.
All right, good evening, everyone. Join us Friday, July 25th at 7:30 p.m. for our River Days Friday Night Spectacular at Gene Coulon Memorial Beach Park. This is the can't miss moment of the festival where music, magic, and sky-high excitement come together under the theme Icons of the Pacific Northwest. The evening kicks off with a high-energy live performance by fan favorite The Kennydales, followed by an unbelievable drone show at 9:30 p.m. For more information about this and other River Days weekend events, please visit rentonwa.gov/riverdays. Information about preventative street maintenance, traffic impact projects, and road closures happening this week can be found at rentonwa.gov/traffic. All projects are weather permitting. Unless otherwise noted, streets will always remain open. That's it.
All right, thank you. We are on to audience comment. We do have a few people signed up tonight to speak. I want to remind everybody that all remarks must be addressed to the council as a whole. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes. When I call your name, please step up to the podium, state your name, city of residence. And first up is Larry Ryman. Larry.
Thank you. My name is Lawrence Raymond, last name Reymann. I am a resident of the city of Renton since 1976, when Columbia Records moved me here to become the regional promotion manager for the Northwest. I retired in 2003. If I have any sanity after 30 years in the music business, it is because of the healing power of the natural areas that the city of Renton, the staff, our elected representatives work so hard to protect and preserve. In the last 15 years, I've served on the park board as a commissioner, I also serve with the Adaptive Management Work Group with Seattle Public Utilities, managing the flow of the Cedar River into the lake, and the Sockeye Hatchery in Landsberg. I'm also on the Salmon Recovery Council with Ms. O'Halloran and Mr. McIrvin and others. And I really want to take the opportunity to thank you, Mayor Pavone, council persons, city staff, MJ, Jennifer, Teresa, Donna, who have worked so hard to protect these spaces. For the last 20 years, I've worked for the Seattle Aquarium as a beach captain in the Beach Naturalist Program and as a team leader with the Salmon Journey. They were very successful. Last year we had 10,000 people who hit the Cedar River at 5 locations, 3 of which were in the city of Renton. And in January of this year, the Seattle Aquarium decided to eliminate 20-some positions of the staff that ran that program. We have met together twice since then and have decided that since our commitment to this resource and this education did not begin with the Seattle Aquarium program, it will not end with one either. So we are now the Cedar River Salmon Project, and we are working with MJ and folks, Donna at the Senior Center. We are working to create 2 sites that augment what the Seattle Aquarium does at the Senior Center and at Ron Regis Park. And when you teach these citizens and these people about this source, this resource, they become much more aware of the value of it and become constituents for those of you who preserve and protect it. So I want to thank you for that. We see what Issaquah does with a creek. We see what Bellevue does with a swamp. We got this river and these salmon, and it is amazing. We will be working with the Army Corps at the Ballard Locks for 8 days in August and September, talking about the salmon coming through the locks, heading toward the Cedar River in Renton, and then on the river in October. So we live in this beautiful place. With great beauty comes great responsibility. And we have to make sure that someday our children's children can bring their children to the Cedar River and they can see this salmon coming back at the end of their lives in the North Pacific to the river they were born in to create the next generation. So thank you so much. And we will be hopefully seeing you all on the river. And thank you again for the support in making it possible. This is a beautiful place to live, and we owe it a great deal of respect. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, next up is Margaret Perez Brower.
Okay. Hi, I'm Margaret Perez Brower today, and I live in South Renton. Today I'm speaking on behalf of the South Renton Connection Community Organization. And specifically, I want to talk about what happened on June 25th. Although it already made the Renton front page newspaper and it was in the Seattle Times, I think it's really important to communicate to you specifically why it's important to us and how we see your role in this plan. So I first want to say that on June 25th, there was a protest at the school board meeting, and folks came together to present a petition of 548 signatures and a collective letter that was signed by 3 community organizations: South Renton, North Renton Neighborhood Association for a Better Renton, and 29 businesses in the local downtown area. And in this collective letter, folks like me and others got up and gave a public comment that tried to communicate to the school board that this is bigger than one education plan. And that's why I want to be here today to really emphasize that to all of you. It's not just an education plan. This is a decision. The Renton High School Expansion Project is a decision that ends up cross-sectoring across lots of issues that I know many of you care about. So housing insecurity, displacement, urban planning, downtown density, and thriving local businesses. For us, and by us I mean the hundreds of people that signed the petition and the several community leaders, both in organizations and businesses that signed the letter, we're not anti-education. We are so pro-education and we want the high school to be improved, but we don't understand why it has to be such a zero-sum game. We really believe that there are alternatives that can improve the high school education, but don't end up not caring for the rest of our Renton community. This isn't just a couple of people giving comments at the school board or being here. It's, as you can see in the Renton Reporter, lots of people. And these people, they're not anti-high school. They're very pro-community. These are people who dedicate volunteer hours doing street cleanups and going to picnics and giving so much of themselves to Renton because they love it here. And so the reason why I think you should care about this is because while I understand that your jurisdiction is not the Renton High School, you do have the power to decide whether or not to give Tobin Street to the school board. And because I believe that these issues cross-sect across so many other things that we care about in Renton, I implore you to really think about whether or not you want to give Tobin Street up to this plan, because that endorses it. And so my only question that I have left to you is that when this is all said and done, what side of history do you want to be on? Or put another way, what side of Tobin Street do you want to be on?
All right, thank you. Next up is Paul Dutton.
Good evening, Council. I'm Paul Dutton. I live in Renton. This evening, I showed up for a committee of the whole meeting, which, as most of you sitting up there are aware, that did not happen. The city's website, which, you know, the revamp and everything looks great. It says that the committee of the whole meeting occurs on the first 4 Mondays, immediately preceding this meeting. There's nothing in there that I can find, and I'd be happy to have somebody point it out to me, indicating that that was not there. And I just make a simple request for myself and for the others that showed up this evening for that meeting, that like with these regularly scheduled committee meetings, like if they are canceled, to like put something in big red letters or something, or have a link that more directly takes you to where it's shown that it's not occurring, because it's just not real clear. And if people that are regularly following it mess it up, I don't know how anybody else is going to find it. So anyway, that's all I had. Hope you enjoy the evening. It's nice and warm in here, so.
All right, thank you. All right. Cheryl Freeze.
Freeze, Renton resident. I'm going to be talking about Juneteenth. Couldn't have been more apropos with what happened with the Parks and Rec Department tonight. So congratulations to them. Congratulations on the joy and the laughter. That is as it should be. And so what that makes me feel is that you are capable of doing that. In a letter that I wrote to Governor Ferguson, I described my feelings about city council and the city and the arbitrariness and the lack of consistency on how you handled things. And it couldn't be more evident with how Juneteenth was handled. So interestingly enough, I went back and looked at all the communication around flag raisings, the proclamation, the language used. And what I heard was a lot of joy around celebrating inclusion and community, joining us from 6 to 7 p.m. It talked about light bites. It talked about allies. And it went on so much so that there was a ... And because I only have 3 minutes, I had to leave it at the ... And the mayor was in attendance for that proclamation. Then there was another one, which was AANHPI Heritage Month. And it goes on to talk about the celebration, the achievements, and the contributions of that community. And again, ... And it was lengthy. And the mayor was in attendance for that proclamation. And then all of a sudden, you've got Juneteenth. The mayor wasn't in attendance for that proclamation. and it was one sentence. And that sentence said, "We're celebrating Juneteenth several different ways this year, and you're invited to come celebrate and learn." No ... no joy, no description of what this is about or why this is happening. And the mayor was not in attendance for that proclamation. And I really want to know if you hear the difference and if you understand the optics and if you understand how that made people feel. There are 7 communication team members on staff here, and if they felt safe and are safe, they should be doing a check and balance and making sure that the language is consistent and all people are celebrated equally and same. So are you understanding that as supposed representatives of this community, you should be at every event and speak of all events, again, equally and consistently? And before some of you default to your usual defensive posturing, not all of you should be at every event. That's ludicrous, not asking for that. There's a calendar. Share responsibilities. The result, however, is that at least 2 of you should be at every event. You have the ability, just like the incoming new council members will have, to create an inclusive community. So I'm going to leave it because I see my time is up. And what I want to say is Juneteenth celebration, it was joyful, it was thoughtful, it was educational, in spite of you, not because of you. So please stop squandering the time you have. Do better and be better starting now. Thank you.
So next up is Alice Lockridge.
Thank you. I'm Alice Lockridge. I live in Renton. I have a frog in my throat. Sorry. I'm requesting more transparency in Renton's council meetings. Transparency is the quality of being easy to perceive, easy to be aware of, or easy to understand. These council meetings are conducted both in person and on Zoom, but there isn't really total transparency. Some intentional things are being done that keep citizens from fully seeing and hearing and understanding what's going on in these live meetings. I have 6 requests for changes that would increase the transparency. My first 2 requests are that the council count and inform us about online audience. Is anybody out there listening to us? How many people? Tell us how many are attending the meetings online so as to make it part of the public record kept for each meeting. My 3rd, 4th, and 5th requests are that the council count and show on camera and announce on the record how many guests are here in this live audience, so as to make that number part of the public record for each meeting. And my 6th request is that the public comment microphone that I'm using right here remains live during the entire comment session, so that there's a passing of information to the online attendees about the in-person responses when you break out into applause after I'm done talking, and for each speaker. The governmental decision-making process should be open, accessible, and readily available to the public to enable us to make informed decisions and better hold officials accountable. Please respond to my 6 requests at my email address. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, next up is Angie Lalanen.
Hi, I'm Angela Leinen, and I live in Renton, and this is a story I'd like to share. Are we going to restart the clock? Every who down near Tobin liked their neighborhood a lot, but the Grinches who were just south of Tobin did not. The Grinches hated the neighborhood throughout every season. Now, please don't ask why. No one knows quite the reason. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that their hearts are 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, their hearts or the view, they spent all of 23 and 24 destroying the Who's, staring down from their seats with sour, grinchy frowns at the houses on Tobin they seek to take down. Why, for 93 years we put up with them now. We must stop these neighbors from being here. But how? Then they got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinches got a terrible, awful idea. We know just what to do, the Grinches laughed in their throat. We have the power and the money, eminent domain we can quote. It was May 2023, all the Who's unaware, all the Who's still a snooze when they drew the map there. The Grinches drew up their plans with the city did meet. The city said, wow, this is great. We'll even throw in the streets. They schemed and they plotted while the neighbors were sleeping, all the while their greedy gaze toward Tobin Street was creeping. This is parcel number 1, the old Grinches hissed, then proceeded to add all the properties to their list. Houses and driveways, businesses and trees, memories and families erased with a breeze. The Grinches were proud and they sang their own praises. They grinned and they laughed and gave their leader raises. But one who spoke up when she heard what they would do, little Cindy Lou Who from Tobin Street, that's who. She stared at the Grinch and said, Mr. Grinch, why? Why are you taking my home away? Why? He had no really good reason, but coveted her spot. So the Grinch replied, my field has goose poop, but your land does not. I'll plow over your house here, and you can move there, well, somewhere, anywhere, just not here. A Grinch told another Who, it's a done deal. We met 10 times with the city. Your house is a slum anyway. We think it looks not pretty. When more Who spoke up and suggested another way, the Grinches listened, said, thank you, and bid them good day. The Grinches ignored all the Who's and would say to each other, just wait, they will all go away. The Who's asked everyone for help, even the mayor. The mayor had helped someone else, so they thought they had a prayer. The mayor told the other, let's have the city attorney weigh in. But when this Who asked for help, he just didn't do anything. Then 500 Who's complained to the Grinches, protesting, this is so wrong. So the Grinches ignored them and proceeded right along. The very next day saying, time is up, you Who's, now you really must go. Here's your order to vacate. Haha, you can't say no. It didn't matter that only a while before, the Grinches said the Who's could stay all summer and more. But now some houses have already been demolished today. That's it. This isn't Whoville, this is Renton. There's no good ending to the story.
Right, thank you. Next up is Matt Hanby.
Hi, Matt Hamby, Renton resident. I almost feel for you guys, but hopefully you're getting a theme this evening. I've missed a couple council meetings. I haven't spoken, but I've let my sign do the talking, so maybe you can look at it while I'm speaking. The people who were appealing the proposed Logan 6 development have to withdraw their appeal. And the reason is that it's going to cost $25,000 over the next 3 months, and we don't have the money. So there's an update. And we have heard from council that an appeal to the Superior Court is a more appropriate way to handle our concerns. But this statement ignores 2 important considerations. First of all, the cost, $30,000. Don't have it, right? Maybe if there was an angel who would come down and give me $30,000 or someone, we could handle our appeal, but we're not able to continue. And the second part is that it ignores the fact that each and every one of you voted to remove yourself from the appeal process in February. And you remember that, right? It's on this board. So each and every one of you are responsible for the process is where it is now. You're not responsible for the fact we can't afford our appeal, but you're part of the problem and you're part of the reason why this is very frustrating. Okay. And to me, by saying that the appeal is the way to handle this does 2 things. It avoids your actions. It avoids your possibility of doing something. And secondly, it avoids your own accountability. And this will never go away. This vote you made in February of earlier this year will always be part of your legislative record. And frankly, if you're happy about it, you must have a big ego because you're about the only ones. So even without the appeal, we continue to protest out in front of the site. We've gone to the city. We had a meeting last week, and we continue as best I can to stay positive, to ask for your help. But so far, most of the help has been a bunch of nothing. So I'll end early. I'll stop the complaining. But I would say and ask you, what would you do if you lived across the street from this development, right? What would you do? How important would it be to you if there was a 100 unit apartment building with a 100-foot wall that would run the entire length of across the street from where you live, and you had concerns about parking, and you had concerns about the entry points, and you had concerns about this, that, and the other? You know, what would you do? I don't think you would. Hopefully, you would do more than what you did, because even when you removed yourself from the appeal roll, it took 2 months to meet with each and every one of you. A couple of you met with us immediately, and I appreciate that. Some of you, what I would consider was lip service. But the fact that it was not made a priority still kind of stings for me. And it's personal, and it may be personal for you as well. But at the same token, I still respect your role. I respect you as council members. If I saw you on the street, I wouldn't turn my head or turn the other way. I would say hello to you, because I know you care about Renton, and I do too. But somehow our visions are just very different. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Next is Sharon Bolstad.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sharon. I've been a resident of Renton since 1964, and I want to thank Matt for his comments, since I do live across the street from Logan 6. But I'm here to talk about what other people see when they look at Renton. From 405, you see a building with giant graffiti. From Park Avenue, you see broken windows, garbage, more graffiti, and the odds are you're going to be dodging flying air conditioners, mattresses, God knows what. From Rainier Avenue and Grady Way, you see more garbage, more graffiti, a boarded up hotel, an entire corner that has a fence around it that doesn't really stop anyone from going in there and taking up residence. Now, from there, it's on to the traffic backups, all caused by the construction delays. If you try to avoid this traffic by using side streets, you're going to find yourself in the middle of an area that has boarded up homes. You're also going to find, possibly, you used the road to go to avoid the traffic, but the road that you're using may no longer be there in the future. While you're trying to escape, and I don't use the term loosely, you go by 3rd and Logan, where there are picketers continuing. Now they're wondering, what the heck is going on in Renton? Well, some people aren't going to care. Others are going to do what every other person does, Google it. That's when you get to the Park Avenue building, where it says, a danger to the neighborhood of businesses, cleanup is talked about, but nothing is done. The protesting for the high school expansion, use or abuse of eminent domain to demolish homes and businesses, all for a ball field. Rainier Avenue construction, currently behind 1 year, maybe more since this afternoon. Logan 6, ignoring the neighborhood concerns regarding more traffic, insufficient parking, and my favorite, the possible flooding if something happens to those high pressure water pipes. That's my house that's going to go under. There's also the dangerous addition of an elementary school bus stop. All of these things are ignored, causing protests and lawsuits. These are only a few of the issues facing Renton. Now the question is, what are you doing to address them? You have the power given to you by the voters. Please use it wisely. Do something. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, thank you. Next up is Sheena Mustang.
Hello.
So I'm here to request a meeting with the mayor and the chief of Renton Police. They didn't handle a gun properly during a incident at my home, and that was over a year ago. So I'm still waiting to meet with you and the chief of police. That's why I'm here today. Request a meeting. That's pretty much it. Anything else? Do I need to say something else? So how do I request a meeting?
I think you just did.
Okay.
No,
Do I need to email you?
nope, I'll have Ed get your information. All right, thank you. All right, next, thank you. Next up is John Houston.
Don Houston, I've been around Renton since 1953. All I can say is another wonderful job by the Renton School District, and you guys say nothing. It reflects on the entire city of Renton. What I'm here really to talk about is Juneteenth, and I know there was a struggle to get the funding for that celebration, and I think it was actually pulled for a while. Then it was $5,000 was actually given. So that, to me, to actually have it pulled or discuss it being pulled is a slap and insult to the Black community. For guys not to attend, I've got messages from a couple of you guys that said they were sick and under the weather. Well, somebody spoke earlier about staff. I think she also spoke staff, a police chief, one of you guys. I don't see too well, so maybe one of you were there, but I don't think you were. What is so bad about attending Juneteenth in this city? You showed something to the Black community and to every other part of this community that we don't matter. We don't matter. Very plain to see. And it makes me sad to my heart to see the makeup of the council. And you do nothing. When you look at the city council, the mayor, just, they're going to get stuff done. But you turn your back on the Black community. Sure, everybody gets sick. It's really sad. It's a reflection on you, not just Black community, because we had a good time. But you guys chose not to be part of it. Why? 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 Doesn't take very much to change an election. I know I'm going to get cut now. I'm talking about votes. It doesn't take very many votes to change an election. And I know that's what you guys, that's what you want. You want those votes. But you didn't gain any on Juneteenth. You didn't gain any. If you want to lead the city, lead it. People are begging for leaders. And that goes from the top seat on down. People here love this city. This is a great group of people. This, for better rent, this is a great group of people. Why don't you pull them in? Work with them. Don't just sit on your hands, say nothing. Pull them in. There's people who want to make the city a better place, just like I do. Yeah, I do. We got to work together, guys.
All right, thank you. Next up is Elena Wright.
Hello, my name's Elena Wright. I actually live in Maple Valley, but I work in Renton at the 8-Bit Arcade and the Rose. I believe there should be a no turn on red on 3rd and Main. I see people pulling out, trying to look around that building into the crosswalk all the time. They're not looking right to see if people are crossing. They're just going. And it's scary for people that are trying to cross the road, and also for people in cars. People go very fast on that road when they shouldn't be. And if your nose is out in the middle of the road and you get hit, you know, it's not good. So that's my suggestion. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next is Carter Farmer.
Hi. Can I ask how many people here have a dog?
Dogs?
Okay, that's a lot of people. And I'm sure your dog has not been happy this past weekend. I'm here once again to complain about the lack of enforcement against the illegal fireworks. I have been suggesting for 2 years, good suggestions that you all have not taken up. Increase the fine. I know that the maximum is $1,000. It's not at $1,000. At least increase it to $1,000. I'd like it to be $50,000, but make it $1,000. The other thing is, because of the stupid law that the cop has to see them light the firework, which is hard to accomplish, make it a noise ordinance violation. I talked to a cop 2 years ago that said city council needs to do that. I don't know why. It's obviously noisy. If I have a huge loud party, I can get a ticket. If I keep doing it, I can be arrested. But I can let off loud as a bomb fireworks in my alleyway and I can't get a noise ordinance violation. That makes 0 sense. Yesterday, between 6 and 8, there was a neighbor who was letting off loud as a bomb fireworks in the alleyway right next to trees, right next to flammable wooden structures for 2 solid hours. Now, I had to do the cop's job. It was obvious. You could find it. It was big in the air. It was tall. It was loud. I had to go find it. I had to figure out where it was coming from. I called the cops about 10 times. About 10 of my other neighbors called the cops. After I found them, I went back to my house, got my car, drove around the block over and over and over and over again to see if the cops would show up. I never saw them show up. They might have, and I didn't see it, but I never saw it. There was a perfect opportunity. I told them exactly where these people were, exactly where they were in the alley. I told them the exact address of their house. They were endangering the entire neighborhood. Could have been caught on fire, not to mention how obnoxious it was and disturbing. Everyone's like, my dog's freaking out. It's Sunday. And the guy was lighting these fireworks, big, huge fireworks, surrounded by children. Oh, that's bright. That's real smart. I'm sure you all heard about the 8-year-old who died in California. The same exact scenario of what this guy was doing. Lighting off fireworks in an alley, surrounded by children. That's how the 8-year-old died. And I feel like you all are going to wait until somebody dies to take this seriously enough. Can we not do that? Can we prevent all of Renton catching on fire? Can we prevent other businesses having millions of dollars worth of damage done instead of just doing nothing? I want to, because you all have gotten a lot of hard time tonight, I want to compliment Kim Convan because she is out in the community. She is there. Everywhere I go, I see her. She is participating. She is making it very obvious she cares about the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, before we move on, I want to say thank you to everybody that came to speak tonight. I know you think it's difficult when we're all getting, comments, people frustrated. I just want to let everybody know that we take audience comments seriously. We don't speak back because it's really not the time for us to communicate with constituents. It's your opportunity to speak with us. We do take these seriously, and we heard everything that was said tonight. In terms of the fireworks, I can tell you that we did have extra patrols. We tried something new with drones we've never done before. We're also frustrated. I haven't had a chance to talk with the chief yet to find out how effective we were. It's something the residents voted on. We are very frustrated. We are trying different things. And oddly enough, there's just as many people emailing me frustrated that they can't shoot their fireworks off. So it's a very challenging scenario. But, everybody else, the no turn on red, we'll definitely have Public Works take a look at that. Appreciate everybody once again coming in, expressing their concerns about Renton High School and Logan 6. So thank you all very much for being here tonight. As far as Juneteenth, I can't speak for anybody but myself. It was the first year I missed it. I've been to every Juneteenth every year. Unfortunately, I was in the hospital. I had a back issue. Sorry, I haven't reached out to let you know that. I felt it was more of a personal issue, but since I was called out in a public meeting, I felt it was appropriate for me to respond to that. So I will definitely be there next year. It's an event that I look forward to every year. So it's time to move on to consent agenda. There are 11 items for council consideration. If council would like hold for separate discussion.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
I would like to pull item, sorry, I'm bringing it up. Item J.
Pull item J. Okay. Any other items?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Council President.
hearing none, I move the council concur with the consent agenda minus item J.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President, second by Council Member Perez, that the consent agenda be approved as published minus item J. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. Councilmember McGurven.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So item J deals with a request from the Public Works Transportation Systems Division to have a temporary closure of South 2nd Street between Lake and Rainier as part of the Rainier Phase 4 improvement project. So currently, the intersection is configured as a three-way stop, and it is resulting in excessive queuing along Rainier. The idea is that by closing South 2nd Street between Lake and Rainier, that would allow traffic to flow in both directions without stopping on Rainier, and then there would be a detour for those going on westbound 2nd to turn onto Lake, or previously onto Street 4 onto Shattuck. So there is an alternate configuration that where the hope is that would improve the flow in that area from what it is right now while they complete this work. So the request is for 30 days, up to 30 days to complete this work for that paving of that intersection and keep this project on time, because as we've heard from the community, obviously already we've had some delay in this project, and so this will help keep this thing moving and hopefully slow the misery a little bit. I do want to hear, since this was being brought on as kind of a quick item for this, if effective, would be take effect tomorrow. If there were any concerns and such from council members, I would love to hear feedback on that, or conversation, discussion. I would invite that. But with that, I'll go ahead and move it to go council concur.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded for J to go council concern. Any discussion? All right, before we take the vote, I will say that I know that staff has reached out to the businesses and worked out the few business that it will impact, how to deal with that. So with that being said, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. We're on to unfinished business. Council President Albertson.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Van.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Prince.
No finished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Prince.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember McGurven.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
And for a full sweep, Councilmember Rivera.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. We're going to move on to legislation. We have one ordinance for second reading.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
I would like to move to amend the agenda to add Resolution 4559 to the agenda under legislation in light of the vote we took on the previous item. Yeah.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to add 442 to the legislative agenda.
4559.
445, what was it?
4559. So it is a resolution that would do the street closure.
Yes. All right, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, it's been added.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read that resolution for, it's up for adoption. A resolution of the City of Renton, Washington, authorizing temporary full street closure of South Second Street between Lake Avenue South and Rainier Avenue South for the Rainier Avenue South Phase 4 Improvement Project.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Councilmember McGurven.
I move the resolution be adopted as read.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember McGurven, seconded by Councilmember Perez that the resolution be adopted as read. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries.
All right, the next piece of legislation is actually an ordinance for second and final reading. It's like a code amendment. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending subsections 46060D, 46060F, 46060J, and 46060Q2 of the Renton Municipal Code, authorizing corrections, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Prince.
I move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Prince, seconded by Councilmember McGurven. Since this is second reading, if there's no discussion, it requires a roll call.
All right, Council President Alverson.
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughn.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Councilmember Prince.
Aye.
Councilmember McGurven.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
Aye.
And Councilmember Rivera.
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you. We're on to new business. Council President Alverson.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. On Monday, July 14th at 6 p.m., the Committee of the Whole will be meeting in the Council Conferencing Center. One item on the agenda, Renton Resource Hub. And then at 7 p.m., we'll have the regular council meeting here in council chambers and via video conference. And that is all, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Van.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Perez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On Monday, July 14 at 4:45 p.m., the Finance Committee will be meeting in the council conference room, as well as via video conference. There are 9 items on the agenda. First, award bid to Perimeter Security Group LLC for the Gate and Perimeter Security Upgrades Project. Second, acquisition of King County Parcel 17230599026. Third, Port of Seattle's Economic Development Support Grant, Support Program Grant 2025-2026. Fourth, Amendment Number 1 to CAG-25-046 with Granicus for additional website development models and licensing. Fifth, lease agreement with Canyon Solution America for print and mailing room copy printing equipment. Sixth, agreement with Tyler Technologies for enterprise resources planning implementation. Seventh, 2025 second quarter budget amendment ordinance. Eighth, vouchers. And finally, emerging issues in finance. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Prince.
Well, after seeing how much finance has, the Planning and Development Committee has decided we'll cancel our meeting on the 14th.
Perfect. All right, Councilmember McGurven.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, on Monday, July 14th at 4 p.m., the Community Services Committee will be meeting in the council conference room and via video conference. We have one item on the agenda, and that's emerging issues in parks and recreation. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Rivera.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. What is the wish of the council?
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Prince, second by Council President Albertson that we adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We are adjourned. Thank you.